We stopped at the small intestine, so we're going to go over the intestines and then we'll move on to the liver, what we did today. Alright, so this is the scanning view of the junction between the stomach and the duodenum. So remember, you're pretty much looking for the change in the epithelium. You're moving from that flat appearance to this frilly appearance of the epithelium where you start seeing the villi projecting outwards. And we're also looking for the pyloric sphincter where you have the thickening of that outer layer of muscle right at the junction. Alright, so if we move to, so this is our view. Alright, so this is our stomach. Alright, so remember within our stomach we have our gastric pits and you have the glands right below the pits here. So these would be our pyloric glands because this is a pyloric stomach. So once you see that transition from the stomach epithelium to the epithelium of the small intestine, we know that's our pyloric stomach. Alright, so if we move over, we should start to see that change in the epithelium. So now we're starting to see these projections here. Alright, so those are villi that are present in the small intestine. Alright, and there's another change. So moving from here to here, do you notice anything else that's in the epithelium? Goblet cells. We start seeing a lot of goblet cells. Alright, so once you start seeing goblet cells, we know we're in our epithelium. Alright, so this would be the duodenum. And one reason we know that is because it's attached to the stomach. So that's one thing we're looking for. There's a transition from the stomach epithelium to the epithelium of the small intestines. But if you don't see that transition for the duodenum, the other thing you're looking for is the Brunner's glands that are present in the submucosa. Alright, so now we start seeing these glands that are showing up in the submucosa. These are our Brunner's glands. So once you see those glands, we know we're in our duodenum. Alright, so we're the only two places that you're going to see glands in the submucosa. We have a duodenum and where else? No. Remember before? So move back upwards. The esophagus. Alright. So if you're seeing glands in your submucosa, it's either the esophagus or the duodenum.
And how do you differentiate if it's the esophagus from the duodenum?
The epithelium is going to be different, alright? So if you're seeing simple columnar, we know it's the duodenum. If you're seeing stratified squamous, then it's the esophagus. Alright, so you're looking for your Brunner's glands. That's in your submucosa. Alright, so in the small intestine, that's the main site for absorption of nutrients. Alright, so these cells that are present in the epithelium, these are called absorptive cells. Alright, so we have our simple columnar epithelium, we have our goblet cells here, and then these other cells, these are our absorptive cells here that are present in the epithelium. Alright, so it's hard to see the borders of the cells, but these are your absorptive cells here. Alright, so those are present in the epithelium, then you have your goblet cells. So remember what our goblet cells look like. We have that kind of wine glass shape, and usually the nucleus is sitting at the base of the cell. Alright, also in the villi, I don't know if you'll see it here, but you see these lymphatic vessels that are present in the villi, which is pretty much the beginning of the lymphatic system in the small intestine. Those are called your central lacteals. Sorry, we're not really seeing it here. So we might see them on one of the other slides. I don't remember if that was on. Yeah. Alright, so scanning view. So this is a composite slide of the small intestine. We have the duodenum, the ileum, and the jejunum. Alright, so remember we're looking for our Brunner's glands in our duodenum. And what are we looking for? The ileum. You're looking for Pear's patches, the lymph nodules. Alright, so if we see Brunner's glands, we know it's the duodenum. If we see Pear's patches, we know it's the ileum. So how do you tell if it's the jejunum? It doesn't have anything. So all you're seeing is the villi. You're seeing nothing in the submucosa. So if you're not seeing Brunner's glands, you're not seeing Pear's patches, we know it's the ileum. Alright. So the intestines has certain characteristics that increase the surface area within the intestine. So you have this structure here, which is kind of a outward folding of the mucosa and the submucosa. So this structure that you're seeing here, this is called a plicae circularis. So notice how the mucosa, this is the mucosa here, that's your epithelium, and you're also seeing kind of a upward folding of the submucosa as well. So this entire structure is called the plicae circularis. So that pretty much is to increase the surface area within the intestines. So from the plicae circularis, you're still going to have your villi projecting outwards from there. Alright, so once, this is a little bit of a plicae circularis here. And we have another one over here. Alright, so we know this is our small intestine. So how would you, is it ID the organ? Alright, so let's look in our submucosa. What do we see in the submucosa? Are those Brunner's glands? Yeah, so those are Brunner's glands, so this is our duodenum. Alright, and then this entire structure, that's your plicae circularis. So that's pretty much, it's going to be a low power ID because it's a very large structure. Alright, and then these individual structures here, so these would be your villi. So that's one here, here's another one. Those individual projections are your villi, or your villus, singular villus. Alright, so let's look in. Alright, so within this one, we see there's a little space here. I think this might be a central lacteal. Alright, so notice this space that's present within the villi. So if we look here, we can see that it's lined by a simple squamous epithelium. There's the nucleus of one of the cells, one of the endothelial cells. Alright, and we're not seeing any blood cells. It has an irregular shape. So we know it's not an artery. We're not seeing any blood cells, so it's probably not a vein. Alright, this would be a lymphatic vessel. So notice how the nuclei are kind of spaced out. Alright, so this would be a central lacteal that's present in the villus. This is a pretty big one here. Alright, so that's the beginning of your lymphatic system within the small intestine. And here's another one here. So once you see a space and you can see the simple squamous lining, you can see an endothelium, then you can decide if it's a lymphatic vessel, then you know that's your central lacteal.
And what is the question of the central lacteal? What is the question?
The central lacteal? I don't remember. I think it's IV the vessel. Yeah. Alright, and you'll see those, you can look for them in the villi. Alright, so those are present in all throughout the small intestine. Alright, so that's our duodenum. That's moving Alright, so again we're at low power. So we're looking at this one. We know we're still in the small intestine. So let's look in our submucosa. So are we seeing anything in the submucosa? We're not seeing it.
It's gone from.
Alright, so no Peyer's patches, no Brunner's glands. So this would be our